Well, here we go. My name's Keefe Williams of Kettle Fitness. It's Ketl Fitness. I'm an online fitness coach who lost 55 pounds putting in systems strategically to go ahead and make sure that I hit that goal that I had set in place. Real quick, a little background on myself. Background in law enforcement, so I know the importance of maintaining good physical fitness, right? I was in a place where I weighed 209 pounds. The problem I had was I wasn't able to walk up a flight of stairs without catching out of breath. Um, Things weren't going good. I couldn't run a quarter mile without getting completely exhausted, and just my resting heart rate was way too high. Um, so I decided to take the leap of faith and make sure that I put a system in place so I could go ahead and make sure that I'm not the weak link at work. That's being a first responder. That is one of our biggest downfalls, is that we kind of get complacent. We get, stuck in the loop, and then it's a snowball. It's a bad snowball. And then we start to gain weight. We start to lose our health, and then now we're a liability. But that's not what this podcast is going to be about. It's not going to be about first responders, and this is probably the only time that I'm going to bring that up. But it's important to understand where I come from and why I did what I did. So I was able to lose those 55 pounds for myself, my coworkers, and my family. You don't want to be the person that people look at and be like, oh, dude, like, you got to reel it back. You got to reel it in and, really got to figure this out. And it was emotional for me because I was never told that, but every time I looked in the mirror, I wasn't happy. So when I decided to put a system in place to follow daily and weekly, that's when I decided to actually pick it up, and I was actually able to see results. The worst part about not having a system is that you're relying on emotion. Well, what is emotion? What is You're relying on motivation. Sorry. So what is motivation? Motivation is an emotion, and so you get motivation every single day. Like, I got motivated, we'll say, to go ahead and shoot this podcast. Well, that motivation and that emotion got me the first, I don't know, 4 hours, 5 hours. And then after that, on a whim, I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? I need a system. I need a structured plan that I can rely on every single day and follow every single week in order to make sure that I succeed at this. And that's exactly what I did when I was losing all the weight. I made sure that every single day I tracked my food. I ate healthy meals. I spread my meals out. I did my workouts. I did my cardio. I was still able to live my life because I had that. People often fall off when they look at their fitness journey, as most of us have probably called it. They look at our fitness journey and they're like, all right, I'm going to hammer it home today. Day one, we're going to hammer it home. And people often fall off because it's overwhelming. And it's another emotion. So you're overwhelmed. You're feeling sore. You might feel great from your workout, but you spent 2.5 hours at the gym. You may have ran or you did a bunch of cardio, maybe 20, 30 minutes, whatever's an extended period for you. And then you ate healthy all day. Maybe you even made it through supper and, bedtime, snack time, when most people like to have their treats. Maybe you made it through that. So next day rolls around. Day one's complete. Next day rolls around. And you you try to fall back on that emotion. You try to ride that high from yesterday, but you're sore, you're fatigued mentally and physically, and now you don't really want to get back into it. But when you have a system that you could follow, you don't have a choice. It goes along with almost everything that you do. The best employees everywhere have a system. When I was, hauling dirt, heavy equipment operator, there was a system to build those roads up. If you did it willy-nilly, you ain't going to get nowhere, right? So the point of having a system is that it destroys the motivation. It makes the motivation not a factor, I should say. And when you're looking at motivation versus a system, your motivation is just completely unreliable. And I want to say that that's 99% true. It's reliable the first day. But every single day for the next 6 months, say, it's not reliable after that. You can't rely on the motivation. You still have to wake up, and if you have no motivation, well, guess what? You fall back on the system that keeps you in check. That is the reason why I was able to succeed. And I'm probably going to go back to this a handful of times, but 55 pounds, it's not an easy thing to do. I looked at myself and I was like, okay, I know what to do. I have the emotion to get it. Like, it was all a feeling for me. It was all emotion. And then I kept going back and back and back, and like, it just kept on getting worse. And I realized, well, I can't just keep on winging it. Like, I know how to track my food. I know how to weigh my food. I know what cardio I should do. I can find a working program, or I can create my own. Like, this stuff, you can do it, but having accountability and having, somebody there that can put a structure in place, a system in place that's actually structured rather than just flying off the seat of your pants. Like, those are the types of things that help people succeed. And I don't want to be preachy, and that's not the intent of this. Pretty relaxed. I'm a pretty relaxed guy. I think I'm funny. I'm probably not. Not all that bright, but on the other hand, like, when I do something and I do it for an extended period of time and I do the research on it and I actually go through the motions of it, that's when I become more well-versed in whatever it is I'm doing. And the last couple of years, it's been this. Last year in April, I started a program. Before that, from January to April, I was just kind of doing my own thing, and it was working fine. Like, I didn't hate it, but then it seemed like I wasn't getting anywhere, and I've lost a few pounds in that time, and that was my goal. So it was great, but when I put that system in place and I lost the rest of it, I was losing 3 pounds a week a couple times, but that's when my calories were at my lowest and my cardio was at my highest. So that brings me to my next point is when I said, people go balls to the wall. Well, the thing you have to do is you have to start slow. You have to eliminate burnout. And burnout is another emotion, but I feel like burnout outweighs motivation in almost every way. So if I were to start this all over again, say I gained back all my weight, I gained back 55 pounds. So I'm rolling about 210 now. Say that's where I'm at. If I were to go and try and go to the extreme, go down to either 1,600 calories, and then I were to try to do at least 100 minutes of cardio, actually high intense cardio, not just sitting my ass on a bike and going through the motions, or going at level 3 on the stair stepper, or walking, just 3 miles or whatever. Like, if I were to actually do the high intensity interval training and the high intensity running, the long distance running I was doing, and going down to about 18 to 1600 calories, I would fail probably after the first day. Because when you have a bad system in place, things can go south. And the reason I say that is because if you're overdoing it, that emotion is probably going to outweigh everything that you did, everything that you want to do, I should say. The system, it needs to be snowballed. You have to start slow. Rome wasn't built in a day. I didn't do this in a week or a day, obviously. It took me 6 months. And I kind of want to drive that part home. And people get discouraged after, say you do a program for 4 weeks. People get discouraged, say, oh, it's not moving. Well, your body's got to adjust. You got to do these things and you got to stay consistent. You have to, when I say adjust, I was doing 2,200 calories in a day. And then, I was still losing weight because for me, I was eating more fat per gram than I was protein, guaranteed. So I downed my calories a little bit to like 2,100 calories from 2,200 calories. And I upped my cardio a little bit from 60 minutes to 75 minutes, somewhere in there, just to ease into it. My steps, they were 8,000. They stayed at 8,000. 8,000 steps it's hard for me. Now that my goal eventually progressed to 12,000 steps, I got down to 1,800 calories, like I've mentioned, and my cardio was 100 plus minutes. Now, after reeling it back, after hitting my initial goal, taking a step back, letting my body relax so I'm not, still in the extreme weight loss stage, now I'm able to do those things a lot easier. Now my cardio is 60 minutes and my calories are 2,200 and my cardio is 60 minutes and steps are 8,000. So when you put yourself through those types of things, it definitely helps. But you can't do that, like 3 days a week, 2 days a week. You can't rely on your emotion you can't rely on your emotion and your motivation because it's not going to become a habit at that point. So what I want to ask you guys to do, if anyone's listening, what I want to ask you to do is just you can pause it if you want, just take a minute, take 30 seconds and write down something that you would like to do every day this week. And it doesn't have to be anything extreme. Don't be like, all right, well, I want to hit the gym for 2 hours every day when you haven't set foot in a gym in 3 years. If you want to read a book every day, if you want to read a book every day, well, don't say I want to read 7 books the next 7 days. No, just read a chapter or two. Ease into it. Write it down. If you want to get your steps in, well, say you got a Fitbit and you know that you're getting 5,000 steps a day. Well, bump it up to 8,000 steps. Take an extra 30 minutes out of your day, maybe, or just do it after something you already do. So lump it into something. So after you brush your teeth in the morning, tomorrow morning rolls around, you brush your teeth. You're like, all right, what should I do? Everybody's fed, everybody's ready to go, but you got 15 minutes to burn. Go walk around the block one time. It might take you 15 minutes, depends on where you live. If you show up to work 15 minutes early every single day, and all you do is sit there and scroll on your goddamn phone, hop your ass out, bundle up, because it's cold, and do a few hot laps around the parking lot. These are the things that you have to think about when you're putting in that system. For me, it was, I would plan out when I would do my cardio. So on days I worked, I wouldn't do cardio unless I absolutely had to, or if I had an immense amount of free time to go ahead and do that. But for most days, I would wake up, get the kids ready, we'd eat breakfast, I would take them to school, and I would come back and I would start my walk to try and get my steps in, because like I said, I'm doing 12,000 and I sit on my butt most of the day at work. So then I would do my workouts. Well, because 12,000 steps is a lot for me, and when I do my workout, after I would get done with my set, I would have somewhere between 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds, and 3 minutes between each set. So I'd hammer out my reps, I'd track my weight in my app, and then I would walk around the gym. I'm on a rest period, so I'm obviously not like walking super fast. I'm getting my steps in. There's absolutely nothing wrong with incorporating it with something you already do. And people are like, that's cheating. No, it's not. It helps you. It builds up I would say muscle memory, I guess. I don't know. To be able to go ahead and hit your goals. And it's huge when you crawl, walk, run, right? You can't just go balls to the wall. And I'll preach on that 100 times. That's when people fail. Because if you have a structured system and they're telling you to go balls to the wall day one, it's not a good system. You got to ease into it. So after you pick that one thing, it doesn't matter when you do it, just try to tie it to something else. Trying to think of what I should do. I think I'm going to read. I'm going to read every night this week. So after I go to bed, or after I lay in bed, I'm gonna read my book. Just one chapter. I mean, I don't read a whole lot. I have been reading a lot more, but I've kind of fallen off the wagon here within the last 2 weeks. And my goal is to make that become a habit again. It used to be, but I didn't really set a plan in place. So now I'm setting a plan in place. This isn't emotional. Like, I don't want to read. I don't hate reading, but when I get home after work or after a long day, I don't really want to read, but I'm going to. And if you've ever done something like this, if you've ever failed, you're not broken. You are only human, right? So the point of this whole podcast is just to get people to start, but to also start in a manner that is going to help you succeed. Oftentimes, I mean, I see people that I know, and I know pretty well, they'll be like, oh, I need to get on that Keefe Williams diet. Yeah, maybe. But on the other hand, you got to start slow. Like when my buddies saw me, like I was almost no, I wouldn't say almost unrecognizable. I was unrecognizable. There were some coworkers that didn't see me for like a month. So we have training like once a month. And I was walking away and I had on my gear and I turn around and they're like, holy shit, like I didn't recognize you. Like, how much weight have you lost? And I was like, well, when did I see you last? They're like, last month for training. I was like, it's probably been 12 pounds. And that was in a month. That was my biggest month. And that's right when I dropped from like 1950 or 2000 calories down to 1800, whatever it was. I can't specifically remember. And that's when I upped my cardio. So becoming unrecognizable, I didn't think that would ever happen. And I also didn't think that I could lose over 30 pounds. I thought if I was 180, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd be fit if I was 180. No, I had to go ahead and lose an extra 25 pounds to make that happen. So anyway, you're not broken, right? So you just need to figure out a plan, a detailed plan, a structured plan, which is what I offer, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat this. My goal is to offer free content, which is through podcasts and social media. My social media it's Kettle Fitness. So the Kettle is KETL, which is the initials of me and my family. Because that's one of the main reasons that I started this thing, is because of my family. Like, I want to be around longer. I want to set a better example for them. And I know I've done that. So that was like basically step one, helping myself and helping my family at the same time, I guess. And now the next step is to help other people. So like I said, if you found this helpful, share it, like it, whatever platform you're on. Go ahead and go over to Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. It's all the same. It's KETL Fitness. There might be a period in there on some of those. And this here, I'm gonna call it Built Not Motivated. And that's basically what I'm trying to drive home with this whole thing is you have to build a system. You have to build, no matter what you do, when you go to school, when you go to work, you have these systems in place. These systems are already built, and they're shown to be the most efficient and the most effective way to do something, typically. So that's what I have to offer, is online coaching. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. I will try to have links in the description. And I'll be honest, the links are to vet people out, to make sure that I'm not a waste of your time and you're not a waste of my time. Like, would I love to help every single person I can? Absolutely. I would like to help the 120 people we have at our department if they need it. I know there's not that many people that need it, but I would say about half probably do. Would I love to help them? Absolutely. Because these people are the people I rely on every day, and they're the people that my coworkers rely on, my friends rely on every day, and my family at that matter. So that's my goal. So I guess I'm going to call that a wrap. Yeah. This is something that, I do want to say one more thing, actually. This is something that, and like coaching and this podcast is something that, I've put off because I am too concerned about what other people think. And it's always been like that for me, and I probably can't stop that. But also, initially, when I originally did have a coach, telling people, I don't think I told anybody for the first 3 months, maybe 4 months that I had a coach, because I thought it was embarrassing. It's not. It's not. The reason that coaches are beneficial is because they've been there and they've done that. Now, am I some jacked dude? No, absolutely not. Just look at me. Not big at all. I weigh 160 pounds now, and after losing 209 pounds, I'm not in exactly a huge hurry to get back to that, right? So you're not broken. You just need help, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing this. The free content is going to be on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, so keep an eye out on there. I know I'm rambling. This is my first episode, so please take it easy on me. Give me a follow. Share it with somebody who you think might need it. And we'll just kind of go from there, I guess. So, yeah. Have a good one.